people don't really have any clue what's really going on here. I've remained tight-lipped. I will continue to, and try to keep a lot of this out of the media just for my kids' sake.
Thank you so much for being here today and talking to me about Surreal Life Villa of Secrets. Before we dive into the show, I kind of just want to hear from everyone what it was that had them signing up for this wild experience. Josie, I know you had kind of a family connection there. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, my dad was on the Surreal Life back in the day, and I think that alone felt like fate almost, that I should maybe entertain the idea of going on it. And also I had done some reality TV when I was younger. That was kind of the first thing that got me into the industry. And I was like kind of looking around in the industry and being like, okay, it's like my first step into the light-ish, I guess you could say. So I was just, I hadn't done it in so long, and I had hit some goals in modeling that I had wanted to hit. And then I was like, okay, let's go. Let's try it again.
Time to go back into the madness. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Seemed fun. And it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Kim, you've obviously got experience on reality TV for years. What was it that made you want to join the Surreal Life?
I've only ever did the Housewives of Atlanta and then, Don't Be Tardy. And so I've never lived in a house with anybody but my family. So this was a new experience. And I wanted to step away from here, my home, and like take a breather and take a break, and was just thinking that I would gain some clarity there, and had no idea how awesome it was truly going to be when I left.
Right. Well, and you were going through a divorce too. Like, was that part of the trying to look for some clarity and just a different environment at the time too?
Yes, 100%. I definitely needed to kind of step away. And when you're living in it and you're in it, it's a lot harder than when you step out of it, I guess, and you're kind of an outsider kind of looking in, you have a break and you're doing something different and you have some time to process. And the hard part was just leaving my kids for that long. I've never done that.
Yeah. That's always the tough part, right?
For sure.
And what about you, OT? This was kind of a brand new environment for you, a bunch of new people. Tell me about your decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's simple. I just wanted to try something new. My lifestyle is very repetitive. Studio, tour, come back, studio, tour, come back. So my lifestyle is very repetitive. I just wanted to try something new. I think a lot of people always complimented me on my personality. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go hang out with people that I don't know in a big house. Let's see how this goes. So it was just trying something, that's all.
Yeah. Well, and I love the Surreal Life for the ability to show different sides of people that, we as the public, we think we know you, but there's so many different sides. I would love to hear from each of you if you feel like you got to show a different side and what that was like. Josie, do you want to start us off again?
Yeah, I was more comfortable in there than I thought I was going to be. I think, because of the cast and because everyone got along so well, it was easy to be myself and to, just be true to who I wanted to be in there and just be me and, be honest about things I'd been through, because I saw everyone slowly breaking that barrier and letting people in and getting emotional. And so that made me feel really comfortable to do the same. And I just, hope ultimately people just got to see me for me and get a glimpse of my heart and how my brain works, the things that I've been through, my triggers. I think we kind of touch on all those for everyone. And I hope I did a really good job of showing that, because that's kind of the purpose of, the show and our experience.
Yeah, totally. What about you, Kim?
Housewives of Atlanta is a lot of drama, combative, a lot of negativity. That was a lot for me. And then doing my own show with my family, it was great. It was amazing. Best job on the planet. And to go, to the Surreal Life and do some of the things that we did, the breath work, for example, was really huge for me, and being able to just have this huge release. And I want people to see really this side of me of who I really am. Housewives is very, you only see glimpses, small, couple minutes, every week on that show for many years. And you're painted how you're painted and what have you. And then Don't Be Tardies with my family. And so this is just Kim, this was just Kim, and having that break and then having these breakthrough moments like the breath work and things like that are going to show people kind of what I'm going through. And people don't really have any clue what's really going on here. I've remained tight-lipped. I will continue to, and try to keep a lot of this out of the media just for my kids' sake. But people have no idea what's going on here. And so they'll catch a little glimpse of some of it throughout this process.
Yeah. And maybe have a little bit more empathy for your situation.
Definitely a little bit more empathy. And it's hard when there's a perception of a situation that's completely not accurate. It's hard for me to, it's sometimes hard for me to sit back and just remain this way, but my kids are my motivating factor. In the Surreal Life, it was super easy for me to just be open and raw and honest, just emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and OT, you kind of had that emotional breakthrough in the first episode too. Do you feel like you got to show you that kind of side to yourself?
Yeah. Because I'm used to holding everything in and dealing with problems as they come along. So that was like super new for me. And now I'm now open to things like that. But that's super new for me. I never knew nothing like that could happen. So I'm always like, you always got to be. I'm always like, I always feel like I always got to be tough. Or as a man, we go through so much, and so we try to hold it in and just deal with our problems and keep on going. But I don't think that's really healthy. So that breath work did a lot for me. Felt the release, and it was a great experience.
Yeah. Is that something that you feel like you've been able to take home with you, even just that experience of opening up like that?
Absolutely. I tell my friends about it now. I'm like, man, y'all better go look. I got a lot going on over there, bro. Try this. Like, where you learn that from? I'm like, bro, trust me. You need to try it, man. You get probably dealing with too much, man. Go release, man. So
I definitely think OT and I always we have a lot of pain inside, but we're always making people laugh. So what was really interesting with the breath work is that OT and I feel like had the biggest release, if you will. And it hit me that it's like, my gosh, at OT, I know him personally. He's always so funny and always on. And I always try to make people laugh and make them happy, the same thing. So this was a moment, I feel like, for both of us, that it was like we were actually in our bodies and could release that stuff that we're masking with our personalities, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of a similar question for you. Have you been able to bring that sense of release or those tools from the house home with you into your situation?
100%. I'll be honest. I was very scared at how I was feeling with the breath work. I was like, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling weird. So I'd have to really trust somebody here in Atlanta to do that again, because it was a little bit, I liked how I felt afterwards, but the process was scary to me. But yeah, it was one of the most incredible days of my life. Like I reflect back on that often, if not daily.
Yeah. Oh, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so many of these deep moments in the show, and there's also just like a lot of really fun, wacky moments, and you guys doing a bunch of really fun stuff. I'm curious to know if there was someone in the house that surprised you the most in how they were as a roommate. Did anyone have anyone who really stood out where you're like, who had no idea living with you would be like this?
Everyone, my roommate was Johnny. He was great. He was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Allie was my roommate, and she was an absolute sweetheart. We were pretty much on the same schedule every day and every night, so that made everything easy with falling asleep and stuff. And she put on her little AirPods, talk to her boyfriend, fiance now, and pass out. And I'd put on my little show, my AirPods. Like, everyone was just very respectful of one another. No one pushed the boundary too hard or, was too disrespectful or anything. It was a very cohesive household.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And I would be remiss if I don't ask. I know you can't say that much right now, but can we see you and Chet making kind of a flirty connection in the first episode? Can you tease for us a little bit about what's to come there?
Chet's a great guy. You'll have to stay tuned to see what happens for sure.
Yeah, right. And that's what he told me too. So you're on the same wavelength there.
Of course we are.
You're right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for talking with me today. I cannot wait to see the rest of your journeys on Surreal Life, Villa of Secrets. And I appreciate your time. Surreal Life, Villa of Secrets. Kicking things off, I would love to hear from each of you what it was that had you signing up for this incredibly wild experience, because I love to watch it and I want to know what made you go there. Allie, do you want to start us off?
Sure. It was an adventure that I was looking for. It was something that was so exciting, and you're going to Colombia, you're get to meet new people, you get to have new experiences. And I also wanted to show my fans more who I was, like, as a person and a personality on a much deeper level than I ever have.
Chet, you're up.
Got you, Macy.
We're swapping in.
Yeah, I joke around a lot. Like I'm kind of a troll, so people never really know when I'm being serious or not. So I wanted to show people another side of me, a more real, vulnerable side of me.
Yeah, yeah. And what about you, Macy?
It's just a big adventure for me. I've never done it before, not anything like that, you know. And they were shooting in Colombia, which I've never been, and I've never done any of the things that we did. So it was like a big, you know, it was a big, I don't know what you call it, but it was like taking a rocket ship to the moon. You know, it was way out of my normal world that I live in, you know, so it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Allie and Chet, you kind of touched on this where you wanted to show different sides of yourself to people who are watching the Surreal Life. And I want to hear a little bit from all of you about how you were able to showcase different sides of yourself or be a little bit more open in a different way. Allie, do you want to start us out?
I think I began more in the show, a bit more guarded, you know, kind of getting to know people, getting to know the environment, kind of just checking my surroundings and inch by inch opening up. But at the end, you kind of see my evolution and you see my vulnerability becomes my strength. So I really love that about the show, and that I got to reveal that to people.
Yeah, yeah. And Chet, you said you wanted to show a little bit more of like a serious side, not as much of the trolling. Tell me a little bit about how that experience was.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it all just happened really organically, you know, and but nonetheless, like it did happen because I really like opened up pretty early on when I was talking about my relationship with God and Christ with Allie. She was there for it, and Macy was there too. Yeah. And then I just really kind of like broke down, but it was like it was awesome. You know, it felt really good, and hopefully like that could help somebody out there when they see that, and they'll see me really kind of at my most vulnerable and open. And it was fulfilling. It felt really fulfilling to be able to do that.
Oh, that's amazing. And what about you, Macy? Do you feel like you got to showcase a different side of yourself, or what was your feeling about going in there and having this experience that way?
I don't remember. It didn't really occur. Like I kept forgetting that I was on TV, and
yeah.
I don't know what, like, you know, everybody sees things differently, you know, so I don't know what people that are watching will take away from it, you know. But I know that we had fun. I know that we made a lot of really good connections that'll last forever. And I know that together we had some experiences that we'll probably never forget. And we definitely did things we had never done before together. You know, we had a lot of conversations that will always stick with me, you know. So and I think fans will definitely take that from it. You know, what they think of everybody, I don't know. But yeah, we had a ball, you know.
Yeah, it looks like you were having fun, and then kind of talking about those connections. Yeah. Looking at those connections that you formed in the house too is always so interesting. There's always some like interesting friendships that pop up. And in the first episode, I mean, we see Chet, you and Kim kind of form this unexpected flirty connection. What can you tell us about what we're going to see there?
Can't confirm or deny anything. You're just going to have to watch.
All right. But we should definitely be tuning in and looking is what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah. It's I tell you.
Well, we love a juicy moment in the house. And I'm kind of curious what it was that was the most juicy for all of you. Was there anything when it was going down that you were like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I'm sitting here witnessing it? Was there any moment for anyone like that?
I don't think I can say it, but yeah. I feel like you'll be able to see it on TV for sure.
Yeah.
The craziness that unfolds.
Now, I would love to kind of go around and just describe your experience in like a word or two, just to tease for us what's coming, because I know we can't say too much about what's coming down the pike. So, Allie, do you want to start us off? We'll go in the same rotation.
The trip of a lifetime.
moon pies, pancakes, you know, sweet sauce. I don't know,
Sounds delicious.
Sky, it's cool. It was good stuff.
I love it. I love it. Now, Chet, how are you going to top that? That was a good one.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Surreal.
I knew you would do that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the troll side again.
Yeah. Yeah.
One word.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for chatting with me today. So delightful to get to talk to you all. And I can't wait to see the rest of your journey on the Surreal Life Villa Secrets.